that extreme.
Yes.
It's from the moment that I read the script, I love that it did tackle all three of these issues. And then as well, I think, it's like, I don't know how Chiké feels about it, but I feel like there's a little mental health with that as well, but I think that it's something that we don't talk enough about and we don't have enough dialogue around, especially in the Black community. And so for me, I loved that, we deal with that, but then in the same breath, I love that we start off with a story with a woman who is very broken, who, doesn't see her worth, doesn't fully see her value, who's in this situation, who almost feels as if there is no other choice in her life. And throughout the course of the movie, as you watch her journey and she begins to get stronger and she finally takes that step. And, by the end of the movie, she starts to get into a place where she's truly empowered, even though she was terrified. I think that to me, the most exciting thing about it was I'm hoping that one too many people see this that could be in a situation like this, and this empowers them to know that, this is where you may be right now, but there's a whole nother life that you haven't even fully dreamt of that is waiting for you, that is possible for you if you just step out on faith and step out and, trust God and do the work to get beyond the situation that you're in and that you can make it. And so I hope that the movie is inspiring. I hope that it provokes hope, and I hope that it frees some people. I kind of have a bit of a regimen, and I'm pretty much stick to it, but sometimes I'll go off a little bit just to make sure that I'm not just making it a regimen, but it's like something that I'm conscious in and thinking about and feeling. But, I wake up in the morning, I never grab my phone. The first thing I do is I sit up, I pray. I say affirmations over myself, which is like, God, I'm your child. I'm dearly loved. I'm loved unconditionally. I am victorious. I am, all these things where I just remind myself who God says that I am at the top of the day. And then I read my word. If I have a good amount of time, it might be like 30, 40 minutes. If I don't, it might be like 5 minutes in one verse, but I do it every day. And then when I get into my car, the first thing I listen to, and it's the same thing, when I'm filming, it's like when I get in the van that picks us up, I listen to gospel music or a uplifting song as my first song. It gets a little ratchet after that, but before we get there, I make sure that the first thing that's deposited in my spirit is something that is affirming, something that is of God, something that me and sustain me throughout the day, that no matter what I experience, I'm able to just grab what I've set out and intentionally put in with God at the top of the day. And yeah, that for me is like one of the biggest parts of my mental health, is because a lot happens in a day and a lot that you can't control. And I want to choose to have a positive attitude. I want to choose to have a positive outlook. I want every day to be quality and as best I can make it, that's within my control. One of the biggest things in terms of preparation, and again, the movie is based on true events, but the characters are fictional. So for me, one of the biggest things, well, the first place that I started was with my friend I was talking about earlier. That was in an abusive relationship, and this guy had physically abused her over and over, and this went on for about a year. And I started with what I knew, and then and what I could tangibly touch and say, okay, when I was in this position from the outside looking in, and then I had to kind of learn to try to put myself in her shoes so I could better understand her, and really honestly, so I could stop getting angry with her and stop judging her and stop feeling how I would feel if I was in a situation, but really just trying to understand her point of view and not make it okay, but just be there as a friend that did not make her feel crazy or have to push me away. And so starting there, and then I went into just like, well, who is Jade and how did she get here? And what's the sequence of events? And what is she thinking and feeling that allows this? And what is she thinking and feeling about Ed that allows this? And how is she feeling about this season in her life when Leigh hasn't been there, or when her parents died, or whatever it is? And so I just started breaking down the experience, the psyche, the space of life that she was in now, being a mother, you know, all of that. And some of those things are so different than what I've experienced that, you know, it takes a lot of digging, but I just want to be as honest as possible and not judge, because I may not have been in that situation, but I've been in some other crazy situations, and just finding the truth, you know, of what this human being was experiencing.